I am this. I am that. Change your way of thinking. Change your conversation that you have with yourself. So when you encounter the world and their judgment on your career, you be able to shoot it down. Throw it down immediately. That doesn't apply to me. You don't fully know. I listen to various interviews of people casting judgment on other people's careers. And you know what? Everyone has an opinion. And let me say this, everyone has a right to an opinion. But that don't make it Bible. That don't make it true. And you need to understand it. They could cast that judgment, but that don't make it they are right. That don't mean they are right. Excuse me for mumbling over my words, but that don't make it right. And so when you look at that, you need to, one, stop pronouncing preconceived ideas onto your life and stand there. You can have a thought, well, maybe this and what if this, but don't put any emotion behind it. Let it be a passing thought. Thoughts are part of contemplation, and I'm a big advocate on contemplating. You should contemplate every aspect of your life. You need to stop pronouncing judgment and living below your worth. Living below your worth. Don't try to be like the Joneses or the next man. That's where that statement, be like the Joneses, is. Be like yourself and achieve success based on yourself and yourself alone. Who cares? Who really cares? Because you're holding your family back when you limit yourself from fulfilling your career and seeing better in your line of work. And everybody has past actions that they've done. But that don't mean even with past actions, certain judgments are pronounced on your life. Because karma is a very heavily debated topic. Because the bigger question behind karma is, do you actually reap everything that you sow? And that could be debated. I would dare to say no. Mainly because grace and mercy exists. And sometimes you don't intentionally to do things. And so, even with that, and monitoring and examining your actions, that don't mean you have to cast judgment on your life to the point you limit living out your full potential. And some judgment might be accurate. Let's spend time on that. If a certain behavior or certain words bring death to your situation, is really a negative towards your advancement, some judgment is necessary to work on. If you have anger management and they say you're not going to get any further than where you are unless you know how to deal with anger. Okay? That don't mean that statement has to be true. You could say, yeah, I do have bad anger management, but let me start working on it. And then that takes away the judgment that has been placed on your life. And so you begin to look at certain judgment and say, okay, that was assessed appropriately. Can I do something different? Sure. But know it. Know the difference between judgment that'll be beneficial for you to work on and judgment that is really meant to tear you down, really meant to limit you. As long as you have air in your lungs and the ability to blink, you should be aspiring each day to be greater and greater. Aspiring more and more to be different than you was yesterday or in the past. Last year should not look like this year. You should not be at a stagnant place because of certain judgment you have placed on your life. Well, I'm never going to get a long-term job. Who told you that? Maybe they weren't good fits. I'm never going to be able to hear my songs on the radio. Who told you that? Or I'm never going to be ranked number 1 on the Billboard. Who told you that? Enjoy the success that you have and then aspire to be greater. Not for competition reasons, not because you're focused on other people's success and you want to be just as successful as them, but you can admire someone's work ethics and duplicate it. That's fine. But you need to take all unnecessary judgment out of the equation in order for you to be successful. And it begins with your words and your thoughts. How you treat yourself, what you say to yourself, how much you devote to yourself. Okay, your strong suit is hitting one note, but it might be the weak area might be hitting another note. And the judgment might be you can't sing it on all levels. You only can sing on certain. Okay, that might be the case. But can I work on it? Sure. And then I perfect my craft to the point I become good at it. And that judgment becomes false. Judgment in your career is so critical. The words you say, your disposition that you have because of certain things you have pronounced on your life, you have to take away and cleanse yourself of it so you can be free to live out your full potential, free to get as big as you need to, whereas as you can be. It'd be amazing. It will blow your mind when you take all the chokeholds off of your dream and allow you to live to your full potential. It might guarantee go beyond your wildest dreams. But you need to invest time in changing your thought process. Thinking of things in a different way that's more beneficial for you and the success of yourself. I enjoyed this series. This series was very necessary. Part 1, Part 2, and 3. Just knowing that we are growing. We're growing, we're evolving, we're learning to love ourselves more, be more of a best friend than anyone else could be, and also being able to connect successfully in our careers and in our relationships. This concludes this episode on judgment when it comes to your career. For those that are in the industry, in the music industry, and acting, life coaching is a good soundboard to take on to deal with any issues when you're not in the spotlight. Any issues when there's no one around. A life coach will help you promote the better you. You can email me, call me, text me, set up an appointment. I'm just a touch away. This is ER, Emotional Response, Life Coaching with Inc. Ivory. See you this Thursday.